We saw Lonzo Ball last night in Atlanta not miss a shot. Not miss a shot from the free throw line, not miss a shot from the field. What's going on with Lonzo? I thought he can't shoot.
Yeah, it's a funny thing that happened on the way to this part of the season, right? That Lonzo figured it out, it seems. That even watch him in that game against Atlanta, even going back to the first game back for him from injury against the Dallas Mavericks, even the shots that he didn't hit against Dallas, he went up confidently. There was no hesitation. And I'm sure you can recall some of those early games where in whatever decision that Lonzo was making, whether it was going up for a shot or making a pass or just trying to get something done on the floor, there was a lot of second guessing. You could see sort of the gears turning in his head. But now there's a different confidence about him. He's playing as if he's been in the league now. He's no longer really a rookie when you think of what a rookie is, as a guy who's just gotten in the league. He's seen what the NBA is about. He's seen how his game fits into it, and you're seeing sort of a new confidence from him as a result, a new effectiveness from him as a result. And maybe part of it has to do with that break that he had while he was rehabbing his knee, that he had to sit back and watch the game, study it really from an outside perspective, but also he had a chance to work on his shot because he couldn't really do much else. He couldn't move side to side. He couldn't go through defensive drills. He couldn't really handle the ball. So he worked on his shot, and it looks much smoother, even at the free throw line. I think that's the most telling for me,
seriously.
Is that he went up and knocked down 2 free throws pretty confidently and easily against Atlanta. He was shooting 48% from the free throw line coming in to last night's game, and I thought that was really, to me, the most telling sign of his struggles, because that's where the physical meets the mental at the highest level. When you're standing there, you have to create your own rhythm. The shot isn't really yours. It's not a natural shot.
Right. You can't jump. It's a whole thing. Yeah, I got to say that he was historically bad for the first month of the season. So his numbers on the season are low because of how bad he was to start. Since then, he's been solid and at times really good. And if you go back, I don't know how long, he's at around 40% from three over a decent period of time.
Over the last 13, 14 games.
So whatever, the guy was terrible. Now he's not terrible. He's perfectly adequate, maybe even good. It's part of being a rookie. Your game isn't going to arrive all at once, and sometimes it takes years for your game to arrive. In the case of Lonzo, you see what he does defensively. I mean, they missed him terribly when he was gone. They figured out how to play without him, and they figured out how to win without him, which is great. But initially, they were terrible defensively, and just bringing him back now, he's way better. The team's way better because of Lonzo Ball. Now, as far as where they go from here, because he's going to move back in the starting lineup
at some point,
right? So the trick is that Brandon Ingram has turned into like an actual point guard. It seems. I mean, he's not like your modern era Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook attack guy, but he's doing a really, really good job of initiating the team's offense, getting his own, shooting at a really high level as far as his own efficiency. Julius Randle's efficiency is great. They've built a little chemistry, and it'll be interesting to see how that evolves when they move him back, Lonzo, into the starting lineup, presumably benching Josh Hart, who would be, on paper, a good complement to Isaiah Thomas, because Josh Hart's very tough. He can guard multiple positions. He's very physical and rebounds well.
Does not need the ball in his hand.
Right, and Isaiah, as we've seen, he's not terrible defensively, but obviously there's a height disadvantage, and that changes the math and the metric just a little bit, right? In that they can't switch as much, or if they do switch, it's more of a disadvantage when it's a 5'8" guy at best, versus a 6'5" guy or whatever it is that Lonzo is. It's obviously different. So curious to see the impact on Brandon Ingram and how that team flows and how that team plays that first unit when they get Lonzo Ball back.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. They had done plenty. They'd played plenty together prior to the injury. Obviously, they found a nice workable chemistry without him, but I don't think it can ever hurt to have more guys who can make plays.
Right.
And especially now with Lonzo finding his shot, that he can be more effective off the ball. He can draw defenders out a little bit. I think you'll probably start to see guys respecting that more if they aren't already. And certainly if they don't, then he'll burn them because he has that sort of ability. Right. So
I hope they go to Brandon and let him initiate the offense. Obviously, it's not going to be at the same number. But Lonzo loves to get the ball out of his own hands and push it up. And if he can kick it to Brandon and let Brandon start things, then that's, I think, what he's going to do.
Absolutely. Get it to him. Certainly Julius is capable of making plays off the dribble. Not a ton of dribbles. You don't want him running the whole thing, but if you can get him charging in a direction, that guy is a freight train. He is tough to stop. And certainly if you're an opposing NBA defender, you don't want to be the guy stuck in the way of him when he goes charging down the lane and maybe charging through for a charge.